So I used to come here quite a lot with my partner to run in the mornings, and it's my local cycling track, but I use it for running. My name is Fardosa. I'm from Somalia and came to this country when I was 8 years old, and this has been my home. Somali people, there's not many of them, as in comparison to the people, most people from different countries here. So therefore, they feel like there needs to be some sort of like connection, or a collective community to kind of keep that culture. Rugby, football, cricket. I was really into sports. I was so good at sports. I loved running, especially long distance, and that's all I ever wanted to do. But in terms of athletics, I was training and all the mess, but I was supposed to be training and got a scholarship to go study in America and do sports there, long distance. My teachers, my head teacher, my friends, everyone's happy. Everybody wants me to go do this. I want to go do this. Even my siblings were very happy for me, and my mum was just like, no. My parents didn't quite understand the importance of sports, and especially as a woman, as a girl, they didn't want that for me. So for them, they stick to their cultural values, which was education. I was so sad. I cried. I was really angry with her decision, and I wasn't happy with it at all. And yeah, it was very hurtful. Of course, I've grown up as an individual now, and I understand all the cultural differences. But I think at that age, for me, I was very hurt. I took it very personal. I didn't understand why my mum was doing such a thing. I didn't quite grasp where she was coming from or her beliefs. I was just more angry. The cultural difference played a big role because she didn't understand it. For her, it was mostly, education. I lied a lot to do lots of training. I said to my mum I was doing homework club and all these different, education related stuff of the school that she wanted me to do. And then when she was coming to school, I would like run off from the PE field, go change, and then come back out. I understand. The thing is, there's no level of anger between the decisions that my parents made and how it affected me. I think I'm very understanding of that decision right at this point. Growing up, I feel like I've accumulated so many different cultural differences, and studying especially, it made me understand how my parents were thinking and their way of making that decision. They left home at such an older age, so they feel like they still have this sense of connection with back home, and they want to bring that here and to their children as well, whereas children who grow up here are still pretty much part of the Western society and Western views and how we think. It was very hard for me to understand because I didn't quite connect with them in terms of culture, because I was raised here. But growing up now, I do understand where they were coming from and the cultural difference, and especially going back to my country. So this is the sand I got from Somalia when I went back 2015, and I wanted to bring back something with me that was very sentimental. And I really like the smell of the sand and the colour. It reminds me of back home. It's kind of like on a rainy day. Yeah, the sand kind of smells like a rainy day. And it's quite golden, and yeah, it's very nice colour, and it just reminds me of the way the roads of Somalia and just the way the whole of Somalia looks. It's pretty much very golden sand. And yeah, I wanted to bring back something with me.
We don't spend our evenings doing this, by the way.
And now you have a very bad sense of rhythm.
Yeah.
So that's where I was born, in Nairobi. It's where we lived, in Eldoret. It's where I went to school. And this is where we went on holiday. Beautiful coast. White sand. Yeah.
I was born in Kitwe in Zambia. Kitwe is, I think, it's the second city, or the third now. I think Ndola might be a bit bigger. But yeah, so that's where I was born. and I lived there till I was 15. What is Zambia? You know, what does it mean to be Zambian? Some people think it's eating Zambian food every day.
Oh, we're not doing that. So
No, we're not. We're having Indian
we
tonight.
failed. Yeah.
You know, it's home, and I still have my Zambian passport and things, but
Yeah.
it's I think just sort of culturally, like as a person, I think I'm not Zambian in the way some people want me to be. I think I'm sort of a blend. But I get, it's so confusing.
Yeah, but what does that even mean?
Yeah, well, precisely, yeah. I think
Because you are Zambian.
Yeah, yeah.
And people, I guess, have different ideas of what it means to be this
Yeah.
certain culture.
Yeah.
No one can tell you you're not.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah. Though saying that, I think some of the cultural, I guess, awareness.
Yeah.
I think I've slightly lost that because I haven't lived there for 14 years. But it's interesting because I think people say that thing is Zambian, but if you try to get into the detail, actually, it's very hard to define
Yeah.
I guess any culture. If you had to move back to Kenya though, like how would you? I don't know. How do you think you'd find that?
I think it'd be really hard because I think I'd be treated like a tourist, and I think I might feel like one.
Yeah.
And I think that would be hard in a place that used to be home
Yeah.
to feel so foreign. Would be difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for a long time, I think I resisted, and I think I still do resist ever calling myself British. But I think the reality is, I think Britain has shaped me in some way. I don't know. I still wouldn't call myself British though. Just linking on to something Zambian, but in reality, I think
Yeah.
less Zambian than I maybe imagined. So would you say England's home for you now? Would you want to move back to Kenya?
I think England's home now because this is where people are. So this is where you are. This is
What if I move to Kenya?
I follow you. Where people are is where home is.
Yeah, right. My name's Arthur Dine. I am 65 years old. I was born and brought up in Zimbabwe and moved here about 12 years ago. And during my working career, I was stationed in Chinhoyi. Then I went to Gokwe, Kwekwe, and Mberengwa. Basically, we were stationed in the what was in the tribal trust lands, and our basic job was administration. We, I suppose, had quite a lot of responsibility, a lot of authority, but they did make us do one thing, and that is to understand African customs, to try and understand the African people, to understand the people that we were actually dealing with. So they made us, I suppose a lot of us were actually very interested in that we learned a lot about customs, we learned the language, they made us do law. So basically we were all fairly qualified in terms of the government law exams, African customs, African languages, statutory law, we did criminal law. One of the things they made us do was to spend time in the local crawls with people, spend the night, spend time. And I think it's made me, for me, it's given me an understanding and a respect, a genuine love, I suppose, for the people. I'm born and brought up in Zimbabwe, Rhodesia as it's called. And so I think it allowed me to have a genuine knowledge and respect for who at independence I left the government. When I first got here, I think I was quite concerned to make sure I kept my Zimbabwean passport, I suppose the links, but as the time has gone on, I've come to realize that I live here now, very different culture, very different work environment, but we grew up with a certain work ethic, a certain morality, and I think from what I can see generally the Zimbabweans, both black and white. But the interesting thing is that at work, when I started off, I was classified as a dual national, and over the years that seems to have dropped away. At work, I'm not considered a dual national. I'm now considered to be a UK national. This is where I've learned that I need to assimilate the culture. No, maybe not. Was to maintain my own moral and ethical integrity. I was brought up a certain way. I want to be a person who lives here, who contributes to this environment, contributes to the economy, and it contributes to the overall well-being of the country. It's a bit sad in that I find that I consider myself now, that's pushing it a bit, I consider myself to be English, but I think at heart I'm still a Zimbabwean, Rhodesian, whatever you want to call it, but I'm still an African in that respect.